In my case, for example, just case in point, I like to joke privately. Now I'm doing it publicly that it feels like I'm creating a new industry that doesn't exist, meaning mainstream the idea of the economic commercial engagement when it regards the region of the world that has not been put in that light like ever, right? People talk about charity, a region of the world that has been synonymous with help Africa. Oh, finish your food. Somebody in Africa is going hungry, right? That's the common. But here comes me to saying, hey, time out. 1 billion people cannot all be at war, cannot all be hungry. You've only been sold, um, one side of the story or one side of the coin. You've only been the story of one side of the coin has already only been shared with you, and we have business leaders, policymakers making decisions based on that knowledge base of, oh, let's help Africa. Oh, let's build. Well, guess what? There's another side of the coin, which is the focus of the work that I do, that is smack face in business, right? Commerce, export, import, transaction, insurance, retail, technology innovation, the use of blockchain, right? People talk about blockchain. Guess what? Regions on the continent, they've surpassed the rest of the world in fintech innovation and all of that. But guess what? The world still wants to believe what it wants to believe about this region. So anyway, so when it comes to wealth creation, it's not automatic, right? It's not just I want to do this, so it happens. No, again, it's a scientific experiment, according to my understanding. Like I just go, oh, people don't really understand. Like everybody wants it, but they're not ready to put in the work and all of that. The other thing I also wanted to call out is this whole idea of supply chain. People talk about supply chain, but guess what? They forget the whole point of chain, the word chain. What does that mean? It means linkages, right? In order to move products from point A to point B or point A to Z, it actually has to go through a chain of, should I say, handshakes between pillars and, should I say, industry pillars. So farm, agriculture, okay, transportation industry, right? You want to move the product from farm to the shelf. Guess what? There's agriculture, there's transportation, there's logistics, there's warehousing, there's packaging, there's sales, there's marketing, there's after sales support, there's branding, and all of that. It's a chain. And what I found particularly is that there are regions of the world where the chain the chain is all over. Like, it's like there's no linkage. And that's where the work that I've done and the platforms I've built to unify is trying to create new links, new supply chain links that people can now connect to achieve their goals, their wealth creation goals, be it distribution of products, globally, regionally, and all of that. So I'm just summarizing the essence of my work because a lot of times people don't understand the strategy behind, how I show up in terms of the various platforms that I've built, the various services and training and coaching that I deliver. Many people I recognize don't understand the why. Okay. The why is that a region such as Africa is largely disconnected in terms of link. The links are like floating in the air. And part of the work I do is now bringing all the stakeholders together, policymakers to say, hey, the policy cannot just be in vacuum. You cannot be creating policy that doesn't advance your private sector or only advance, external players, external interests without really looking internal to within your region in terms of how they want to trade or supply chain logistics and all of that. In fact, when you have bound border issues and all of that, the truth is that you cannot compete or you cannot engage in international trade or because now let me connect international trade to wealth creation. I come from that industry, and my conclusion is that international trade drives wealth distribution. Okay, that's my conclusion. Is that people and regions of the world that participate in international trade at scale, they are more wealthy based on my research, years of work. And this research it ranges from India to Vietnam to Chile to US, where we are, to looking at Asia, to engaging with people on ground, to asking them, historically, what did they do? What have they done? What policy? What did they have to shift that allowed them to go from where they used to be to where they are today and where they've set themselves to go? So that's my conclusion: is international trade is a gateway to wealth creation for regions of the world. Now, within that context, you have individuals. Like, what can individuals do to participate